Hello everyone. Today, we announced a downward revision to our fiscal 2021 earnings forecast, the recording of impairment losses, and the revision to the estimated amount of collection of account receivable. The outline and figures are as shown in the published materials, but I would like to explain what happened because this downward is so big in comparison with the latest forecast we announced on February 1st. In the announcement of financial result last February, we projected revenue of 900 billion Japanese yen, operating profit of 12 billion Japanese yen, and net profit of 1.5 billion Japanese yen for the full year of fiscal 2021. The final settlement of accounts has not yet been finalized, and the announcement of the final figure is scheduled on May 12. At present, we forecast revenue of 910 billion Japanese yen and an operating loss of 23 billion Japanese yen and a net loss of 27.5 billion Japanese yen. Operating and net profit deviated more than 30% compared to the latest forecast. With that deviation, the standard of Tokyo Stock Exchange, on which Konica Minolta is listed, requires such prior announcement. Factors behind the downward revision of the forecast of financial result can be divided into three categories: those related to business, those related to account treatment of impairment losses on goodwill, and those related to the revision of estimated amount of collection of account receivable. First, in the businesses, operating profit is expected to fall short of the forecast in February by around 15 billion Japanese yen. Malaysian factory was shut down in response to an expansion in the COVID-19 variant cases, and international transportation got longer and longer in office business and production print business. We could not manufacture what we wanted, and we could not deliver the hardware in time even we wanted. As a result, we were unable to record sales in the fiscal period under review, and our order backlog grew further. The existing backlog of hardware sales in office business at the end of March was 46.5 billion Japanese yen, an increase of 7.5 billion from the level assumed in the last February, and hardware backlog in production print business was 5 billion Japanese yen. In addition, in DWDX business, impact of tight semiconductor supplies delayed the external sourcing of IT equipment such as PCs and servers, which also led to delays in the close of many ongoing comprehensive IT service opportunities. Those business units counted on the certain business risk in the February's forecast, but considering the impact to the entire KM group, to be honest, they had to put certain challenges with guts into such forecast, which we as a management has to change and learn in the future. As a result of these factors, the digital workplace business's operating profit will be approximately 11.5 billion lower, and the professional print business operating profit approximately 1 billion Japanese yen lower than the latest forecast. In the healthcare business at Ambry Genetics, a US subsidiary in the precision medicine field, the operating profit is expected to decline by approximately 2.5 billion Japanese yen, partly because of the impact of stagnant demand for genetic testing in hospitals and medical checkups in response to the COVID-19 variant cases in the United States. And for in vitro, there is a continued delay in resumption of clinical trials at pharmaceutical companies that in vitro is working with. Now I explain recording of impairment loss. This is a loss on the book resulting from prior acquisitions. Konica Minolta records goodwill in the asset section of the balance sheet and in non-current asset. Goodwill refers to brand strengths, technological capabilities, know-how, and other factors. This goodwill arises from the difference between the amount paid in the acquisition and net asset of the company. Impairment loss refers to the accounting process of reducing the values of assets that are not expected to be recovered on the investment amount to the recoverable amount. This time, from 3 viewpoints, we expect to record a one-time loss of 10.9 billion Japanese yen as an impairment loss on goodwill related to past acquisitions. The first is goodwill in Konica Minolta Marketing Service EMEA, which provide print management services, sales promotion activities, and marketing consulting services in Europe. Although we made fiscal 21 business plan assuming certain business recovery from COVID-19 impact, negative impact of COVID-19 variant cases was bigger than we thought, which caused profitability to decline because online consumer purchasing increased and demand for procurement supply support services for sales and sales promotion print went down from the cancellation or contraction of in-store campaigns and real events by client companies. We decided to record an impairment loss on goodwill of approximately 1.5 billion in fiscal 2021. Second is goodwill arising from the acquisition of shares in Mobotics in the emerging IoT solution business of the industry segment. In this regard, goodwill was booked in terms of business trends of Mobotics and relating to generation of synergies with Konica Minolta groups after the acquisition. This time, we will record impairment losses from each of these perspectives. First, regarding Mobotics business trend, it took time to develop emerging IoT solutions by combining video management system, which is a strength of Mobotics, with Konica Minolta devices. In addition, market trends declined in surveillance camera market in the pandemic, and delay is anticipated in monetization over continuing supply constraints for semiconductor and other components. As a result, we expect to record an impairment loss of approximately 5.8 billion Japanese yen on goodwill in fiscal 2021. Next, in terms of generating synergies with Konica Minolta Group, we expect to record an impairment loss on goodwill of approximately 3.5 billion Japanese yen in fiscal 2021. This is a result of delays in market development and decline in profitability due to the pandemic in the United States and geopolitical impact in Eastern Europe, which will make it difficult to recover the amount of investment. Going forward, we will strengthen our value proposition through image analysis solutions in the areas of manufacturing, logistics, education, and high security, such as disaster prevention, through technological collaboration between Mobotics high-performance AI camera and our Foresight Edge IoT platform, and improve profitability by expanding sales in regions around the world. Recording of these impairment losses shows the management decisions with strong intention and resolve to calmly accept the result of prior investment and, by clarifying potential risk for the future growth, communicate to the market the transparency of management towards the future. In Ambry Genetics, the estimated amount of collection of account receivable was reviewed based on the most recent collection results. As a result, we expect to reduce account receivable and revenue by approximately 9 billion Japanese yen as a one-time treatment at the end of fiscal 2021. Ambry's customers in genetic testing are doctors and genetic counselors, and the beneficiaries of services are patients, and the payers are insurance companies. Ambry has historically provided for account receivable in excess of certain number of days of stay, but since January 2020, the reimbursement process has gradually changed to a method based on an application from a doctor, and the recent collection results from insurance company have declined and got longer due to the complexity of the application documents and limited time of doctors in the pandemic. Based on that, by reviewing the estimated amount of collection of accounting receivable, revenue and operating profit for fiscal 2021 is reduced by approximately 9 billion respectively. Financial covenants are one of the conditions granted by financial institutions when making loans to debtors. The loan agreement between Konica Minolta and financial institutions state that loans will be repaid to financial institutions when financial condition of Konica Minolta doesn't meet standard conditions stipulated in the agreement, upon request by financial institution even before the repayment date. Konica Minolta was deemed to go against this provision in its fiscal 2021 result because of the operating loss for the 2 consecutive years. We have explained the facts and future policies to the financial institutions by the Corporate Finance Division and have obtained an agreement from the financial institutions on their voluntary waivers of rights, meaning that they agree to waive the right to request Konica Minolta to pay off because of the operating loss for the 2 consecutive years. We estimate the financing in fiscal 2022 can be well secured with a current loan limit of 100 million Japanese yen. Please do not feel anxious about financing. Although we are affected by these internal and external environments, we cannot deny that our past internal plans were ambitious under the best scenario, as I mentioned in the last message when I took office as CEO. In order to stop the past bad practice in budget, I made a proposal of fiscal 2022 budget, which we made based upon the current baseline and reasonable stretch to the Board of Directors on April 21st and was approved. As I explained, we have already done the necessary action to secure our operating cash. All we have to do in fiscal 2022 is just to achieve each business unit budget in order to get back the credibility from the market and get confidence by ourselves. As President and CEO, I will personally take the lead in achieving the turnaround and need the cooperation of each and every one of you. To complete the portfolio transformation, Konica Minolta is precisely at a turning point. We would like to ask you to continue thinking about how to create value for customers and how to promote and enhance genre top strategy without hesitation, even in the difficult business situations. The 2021 financial result and forecast for fiscal 2022 will be explained to managers as a group management meeting on May 13th, and we would like to distribute the recording for all members. Finally, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all Konica Minolta Group colleagues who are proud of their work day in and day out. In response to my message sent on April 1st, already many people sent me comments and questions. I started to visit Konica Minolta sites one by one, and I am very happy to see you're working very seriously and strongly. I believe that there are lots of rooms we can still improve in many areas. Let's take on the challenge of achieving this goal through company-wide effort. We will also master this situation together. Thank you very much for listening to me.